Seth, Steve, congratulations. You guys have made it to this final round of competition, and that means we're sending you back to your home forges to recreate this iconic weapon from history. Napoleon's Saber. Good luck, bladesmiths. We'll see you in 4 days.
I'm back home at my home forge in Goche, Mississippi, and I'm going to be working on Napoleon Saber. Round one, I let the pressure get to my head and I didn't meet parameters, so I'm really gonna have to make sure that I don't get flustered and make this thing beautiful and functional as well. I decided to go with 5160. It is a great spring steel, but I'm looking at the blade and I think I have a little too much curvature. I was at the 3-inch mark, so I had to put it back in the forge and knock it down. I knocked it down a little too far. Time to go back in the forge again. It's kind of like a cat and mouse game. Just a little over an inch. Well, it's just one of those things. It's back and forth, and I'm finally got it.
I'm back at home, I'm in my comfort zone. The lack of power tools could put me at a disadvantage, so I need to plan wisely. I've got a nice bar of 5160. It's gonna make a good, strong sword. It is super hard to hammer, and I'm gonna have to just get after it and know that day one is gonna be tough, but I'm gonna have to suck it up. We're gonna be here a while. For the pommel, I'm using 1-inch solid hot rolled steel. I've got a lot of metal to move, and I'm a little bit worried that I might not get all this metal moved today. Finally, I've got this thing where I need it. We're at the correct length, the correct thickness. The day is a success. All right, feels pretty good.
It's the start of day 2. It's time to move on to the heat treatment of the blade. The idea is to get as even a heat on this as possible. And like Napoleon, I will divide and conquer. I don't feel no ticks. I don't feel no tings. I have a hardened blade. It's time to do a rough fit up of the wood part of the handle and the pommel. And this is going to taper down to the brass. That's the idea. Now, is it going to work? I go to try to bend it, and it bends just a little bit on the first go round, and I'm like, all right, this looks like it's going to work. I go to try to bend it one more time. Broke the brass. That was my biggest piece of brass that I could have used for it, so that's kind of down the drain. At this point, I don't really know what to do, but I look down at the floor, and I'm looking at the deer antlers that I have, and I notice the curvature in them. No one says that it has to be made out of brass, copper, or gold. As long as I hollow it out and it has a nice taper to it and it fits the hand, why not a deer antler? We got to fit.
Today we'll be quenching the blade. The quench is a moment that can go horribly wrong. I've got to get the entire blade one nice uniform temperature. It's not going to be very easy in the short forge that I have, so what I plan on doing is building an oven at the back side of the forge. This oven's going to keep my point warm, but not let it cool off. Should be a good help. So I've got the forge turned up as high as it'll go. I've got my little butane torch in the front. All right, here we go. We're straight. The beautiful sound of a skating file. Hard, hard, hard.
How'd the quench go?
Quench went good, I think. No bends, no warps. Got it out, file skated on it.
I'm ready to see it finished.
Give me a little while and we'll have that done, okay?
Okay.
Thanks for checking.
No problem.
Love you.
Love you too.
The closer and closer I get towards the final shape of it, I'm feeling it in my hand, I'm kind of twirling it a little bit. Not quite as good as Doug Marcaida will be doing, but feels good in the hand. Becoming a Forge and Fire champion would be a great way to show people that I can do this, and would be one step closer for me to becoming a full-time bladesmith, because this is the dream right here. I am done. I couldn't be happier.
It's the last day. I tempered the blade yesterday in the oven, but I felt like I maybe half did the job. So I want to temper my blade with my torch to give me peace of mind. There is risk involved in a torch temper, which means that I could lose the hardness of the blade. I should see a nice blue up toward the top and a little straw moving down toward the middle of the blade. I think that Seth is going to try to design a blade that's going to be much prettier and sharper than mine. But I sacrificed a little bit of sharpness to get a little more meat behind that cutting edge. I'm in at about 3 pounds right now. It's gonna cut, but it's not gonna be a razor blade. It doesn't feel horribly heavy, it really doesn't.
Put it right there.
There's one more thing to do.
It will kill. All right, bladesmiths, to find out what kind of lethal damage your weapon will do, I'm gonna deliver slashes and thrusts on this pig carcass. Seth, you're up first. You ready for this?
Let's do it.
All right, Seth, from the snotter to the trotter, every cut with this, as you can see, offers a very deep, lacerating cut. The only issue is that your blade did pick up a little bit of a bend. But overall, sir, with the way this weapon moves and feels, it will kill.
Thank you very much.
Good job. All right, Stephen, your turn. You ready, sir?
Yes, sir. That's heavy. Too heavy.
All right, Stephen, let's talk about your saber here. It's a heavy, unbalanced sword. The minute you pick up, it wants to pull straight down. It's hard to wield. But the weight of your sword here will definitely bash in and cut, so it will kill.
Thank you.
Well, bladesmiths, a saber is supposed to be a sturdy weapon, so let's see how yours hold up on our strength test. The ram skull chop. Now I'm gonna take each of your sabers and with no mercy at all bash them into this ram skull. It's not only gonna test the overall strength of your knife, but the heat treat on your edge. Now, I don't really care what your swords do to the skulls. I wanna see what the skulls do to your swords. Now, Seth, you're up first. You ready to go?
Swing it good.
All right, Seth, your edge held up, but we do have a bigger bend in the blade than we had before. Your guard is now mobile, and both of your bolsters came off as well. So this mechanical connection right in here failed, but the connection between your blade and your handle is still sturdy. You took some damage, but you survived. Good job.
Thank you, sir.
Steve, after seeing that, how you feel?
I don't know. Let's see. There you go. Bad heat treat.
Well, Steve, we obviously have a problem here. You got a very coarse grain structure in here, so I don't know if there was enough tempering done on this 5160 blade. I mean, one strike is all it took and it snapped it right in half, so that's obviously a problem.
Well, Steve, there's nothing left to test. Your blade has suffered a catastrophic failure and can no longer continue in this competition. And for that reason, I have to ask you to please exit the forge.
I'm upset. I'm very disappointed that the blade broke like that. I'm not coming home as a champion, but I'm coming home a whole lot smarter. I've made some friends that I'll have forever. I would do this again, no questions asked.
Well, Seth, this is a competition where the best blade wins. Your blade survived this strength test. You are the Forged in Fire champion, and that's a title that comes with a check for $10,000. How do you feel?
Surreal right now.
Well, good job, brother. You're a champion.
I could not be more excited about this experience. This competition has been some of the most fun of my life. The money's gonna do some things for the shop, and my wife and my daughter are gonna go on a real nice trip.
Good job, Seth.
My name is Seth Voorhees, and I'm the Forged in Fire champion.